Good morning, it's Yandama, and today is the 10th of January 2026. So, what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about the fact that your Vedic astrology birth chart does not only show you everything about your life, all right, from your relationship with your parents to your childhood, your personality, your purpose for being born, uh, your spiritual gifts and talents, and your career, what you're going to be doing to make money, and relationships, love, marriage, whatever, having children. Your birth chart shows you all that, but it doesn't just show you all that. It shows you your karma, all right? Whether it's good or bad karma from past lives. Yes, past lives, because reincarnation is real. I know Abrahamic religions, which are popular, and I was caught up in them all my life, for my first 50 years of life. They don't teach about reincarnation because they don't tell the truth. All right. So, but reincarnation is real. We were not just anyway. Never mind. This is not about reincarnation. But your Vedic astrology chart tells you about past lives and your karma, karmic debt, if you have karmic debt to pay in this life from bad things that you did in a past life. All right. Why do you think there's all this suffering in the world? It's not just some people are wicked and they make other people suffer. No, bad things happen to good people because of karmic reasons. All right. Some of these people, they've done some really horrible things to other people in the past. And now they're suffering and we feel sorry for them. And, that doesn't take away my compassion. All right. But you're going to pay for what you did in a past life. This is our hell and this is our heaven. Okay. Now, I do believe that there's a spiritual dimension. In fact, not just one. There are spiritual dimensions, okay, where there are other existences, other beings existing. All right. If we're not here, we're somewhere else. Okay. I believe that. I don't know a lot about that, but I believe that. However, I'm talking about here and what I'm learning through Vedic astrology. All right. And one other thing I recently learned that through Vedic astrology that you can discover on your Vedic astrology birth chart is your cause of death. I know a lot of people don't like to think about death. But you see, me, I'm somebody who keeps it real. All right. I'm a realist. All right. Not just a realist. I'm honest and truthful. Okay. I like truth. Death is a part of life. All right. Each one of us has had a loved one die. Okay. Our ancestors are not here because they died. All right. Some of us are our ancestors. All right. Some of us are reincarnated. Okay. All right. So, everybody knows somebody who has died. Everybody has heard of somebody who died. Okay. So we know that death is a part of life. So if you're somebody who doesn't want to hear about death, oh, you're afraid of death, oh, you don't want to think about it, my dear, get honest with yourself. You know you're going to die one day. You have an expiration date. You just don't know when it is. Well, now, I'm going to share something I've learned about how you can know how you're going to expire. Not necessarily the date, but you can know how you're going to expire from your Vedic astrology birth chart. And I insist on saying Vedic astrology because there's Western tropical astrology. The popular astrology we know in America, Europe, wherever, it is a lie. Okay? And this is why a lot of people don't care about astrology, because Western astrology is full of bullshit. Number one, their placements are off. All right? If they tell you, because the planets, okay, so for the purpose of astrology, we refer to everything as planets, including the sun and the moon. We know the sun and the moon are not planets, okay? They're luminaries, all right? They're not planets, but we refer to them as planets, okay? And we refer to even Rahu and Ketu, the north node and the south node, as planets, even though they're not planets. They're points. They're not even physical bodies. They're points up in the cosmos, okay? And these are the points that cause lunar and solar eclipses when there's a new moon or full moon where they're located. All right. Okay, so we know everything in the cosmos, all these planets, the sun, the moon, Rahu, Ketu, um, from Venus, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, all of them. Did I forget one? I don't want to forget any. Okay, all of them, they travel, they transit the cosmos. Okay, and up there in the cosmos, it's the constellations. It's like portions of land. Okay, this piece of land, this 30 degrees, okay, a portion of land or portion of cosmos belongs to Aries. This is Aries. All right, and this next 30 degrees portion of the cosmos belongs to is Taurus. And so it goes all around to Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. All right, all 12 of them. All right, so and now we know that each zodiac energy, I don't like the word sign because sign doesn't mean shit. All right, they're more than a sign. Okay, but everything is energy, so I like to use the term energy. Each zodiac energy, like Aries, Taurus, Leo, Libra, Capricorn, Virgo, whatever, they all have their own characteristics. They all have their own way of being, all right, and their own way of manifesting in human life. Okay, and so, but also not just that, each of them are ruled by a planet. Okay, some planets have two. Some planets rule two of them. Okay, like Mars. Mars is referred to as the god of war. Through other traditions and whatnot, cultures, they have different names, but Mars is the god of war. Okay, Mars cuts. Mars is a sharp thing. Mars is fire. Mars is like Mars. Yeah, Mars will destroy. Okay, Mars will act. Mars will take action. Mars is our passion. So Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. Aries is a fire sign. Scorpio is a water sign. Energy. All right. Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of love, beauty, luxury, the planet of desire, the planet of pleasure. All right. So Taurus is ruled by, and money too, the planet of money. Venus gives wealth too, in the right alignment and things. But anyways, so Venus rules Taurus and Libra. Okay. And then you got Mercury. Mercury is the ruler of the intellect. Mercury is referred to as the messenger of the gods. All right. Mercury rules communication. Mercury rules the intellect, the way you think, the way you receive knowledge, the way you process knowledge, the way you share knowledge, the way you all of that. Mercury rules that. But they all rule a lot of things, okay? Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. All right. Gemini is an air energy. Virgo is an earth energy. All right. So it goes. Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon only rules one. That's Cancer. The sun only rules one energy. That's Leo. All right. And then, yeah. And so they go. Saturn, the disciplinarian and the teacher disciplinarian of the cosmos, the bringer of our biggest karmas, the keeper of karma, the lord of time. All right. Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius. Okay. And Jupiter, the Indians, I love what they call Jupiter Guru. Okay. Guru is like a teacher. But Jupiter, the way Jupiter teaches apparently is different from the way Saturn teaches. Saturn teaches through pain. You will learn your lessons the hard way. Okay? Jupiter teaches in a more fun way, apparently. And Jupiter also is the planet of abundance. Scientifically, astronomically, or whatever, Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. All right. And Jupiter is also a protector of Earth because Jupiter keeps, well, space debris or whatever they call it from hitting Earth. Now, the moon does that too and whatnot, but Jupiter is the biggest one that does that. Okay. And spiritually or metaphysically, astrologically, Jupiter also protects us. All right. Jupiter rules two zodiac energies, Sagittarius. I forgot Sagittarius earlier. Oh, I said it. Okay. Sagittarius and Pisces. Sagittarius is a water energy and Pisces, Sagittarius is a fire energy and Pisces is a water energy. All right. So yeah, those are the planets. I hope I didn't forget anybody. Those are the planets and the zodiac energies that they rule. Now, when we're born, what is a birth chart? I have to do a separate video about this, but I'm just giving a brief conversation introduction to this because I want to show you something. When we're born, it's like the picture of the sky, the picture of the cosmos, of the constellations, and wherever the planets are sitting, including the sun and the moon, and the north and the south node. Wherever they're sitting at the moment you come out of the womb, that is your birth chart. And that birth chart, it has all the information of your life. Yes, I don't care if it's 20,000 babies born in 1 minute around the world. They all have that somewhat similar, same picture of the sky from wherever they're born, all right? And they all are walking their individual path. Just because they may have the same picture of the sky when they're born does not mean they came with the same karma. Does not mean they're on the same karmic path. So your karmic path has everything to do with how your cosmic blueprint. I refer to the picture of the sky as your cosmic blueprint. That's the energy that is imprinted upon you when you come out of the womb. This stuff is fascinating. I love it. And that is what makes us who we are. And that is why each human is so individual, is so different. And this is why we should not make boxes to put people in. Like whether it's a religious box. Oh, my book says, my holy book says. No, your holy book is not my holy book. I don't give a fuck about your holy book. Excuse my French. All right. So, well, not really. But, so now let me show you something. So how I recently heard a Vedic astrologer say, you can tell. Okay, so before I get there, this is the birth chart, okay? So I think, let me put on my glasses. I can't see shit. I can't really read without my glasses. Okay. So this is a birth chart. All right. You see this big old circle? That's a birth chart right there. And this is, I believe, Michael Jackson's birth chart. And since we're doing a video about a conversation about knowing your cause of death from your birth chart, from the moment you're born, from the picture of the sky, your cosmic blueprint, boop. It says everything about your life, including your cause of death. All right? And I'm going to show you, I'm going to discuss, because I did my research on 5 celebrities who've passed. And we heard about their cause of death. And I pulled up their birth chart. And I can tell you, it is 100% accurate. All right. So the birth chart is this big, I refer to it as it looks like a pizza, right? So now, the only way you could tell all this detailed information from your birth chart, everything, all the details of your birth chart, is if you have your time of birth. All right? Because your time, see, because when it comes to zodiac energy, you're not just a Leo or a Cancer or a Virgo or a Capricorn or an Aquarian. You know what I mean? That's your sun sign based on your date of birth. And I don't go with Western astrology. Let me repeat it. I don't go with Western astrology. Most of the people who think they're Leos or whatever, they're not. They're the sign before that, the zodiac energy before that. Okay? Because Western astrology placements are 24 degrees off. They're 24 degrees ahead. Okay? They're fast forwarded. They're symbolic. They go by It's some nonsensical explanation, but it's not real time placement. All right. Right now they're talking about the sun is in Capricorn. The sun is still in Sagittarius. All right. So the sun is not in Capricorn. And right now in January 2026, the sun is in Sagittarius. Venus, Mars, they're all in Sagittarius right now. But Western astrologers will tell you they're in Capricorn. It is Capricorn season, and Venus has entered Capricorn too. Mars has entered Capricorn. Mercury is in Capricorn. None of them are in Capricorn yet. All right. Usually, it takes about 2 weeks for the planets to be where Western astrologers say they are. So so their placements are off by 24 degrees. Anyway, but if you check with NASA, NASA does real-time placements of the planets. NASA will tell you the planets, the sun is in Sagittarius right now. Okay. Vedic astrology uses those same measurements, the same whatever, however they calculate where the planets are, whatever. That is the same real time. And that's what you want, because you want the real time. Because if Western astrology tells you, oh, like me, your birthday is July 5th. So that makes you a Cancer sun. You're Cancerian. Well, I'm not. No, when I was growing up, I heard that. I accepted because obviously I didn't know shit about astrology. So, okay, I'm a Cancerian. Yay, that's my zodiac sign. I'm Cancer. Are we compatible? I'm not. When I started studying astrology in 2024, I was going to say last year, but then I remember that last year is 2025. So when I started studying astrology in 2024, I listened to months and months and months into, and then into 2025. For a year, I studied my birth chart. I accepted my Cancer sun and whatever my Western astrology birth chart said. But I discovered Vedic astrology of the Hindus in India. I discovered that, oh my gosh, I have a different sun sign. They say I'm a Gemini. All my life, I heard I'm a Cancerian, But July 5th, Gemini? So at first I shrugged it off, like, I'm going to hold on. Because we are emotionally attached to the bullshit that we were told. Okay? This is why you have to unlearn all the bullshit you've been told in this world. All right? You have to unlearn it. Because it's just bullshit. It's a lie. Just like religion, just like Abrahamic religions, just like Jesus. Okay? I believe in divinity. I believe in the spirituality of the universe. I believe in, oh my gosh, you cannot shake my belief in divinity. It's not just belief. We are divine. I am spiritual, a spiritual being. You are a spiritual being. We're all gods in human flesh having a human experience. So I'm not saying there is no divine, force, source, entity in this world that has made all this happen. But the definition of God in that Bible or Quran or whatever, Tanakh, they're all bullshit. Same thing with Western astrology. Okay, they give you a false identity. All right. Okay, so I did not want to go in depth with this like this, but I wanted to, well, I guess it's part of it. So anyways, how do you discover how you're going to die from your Vedic birth chart? Listen, I heard this Vedic astrologer say, you can find your cause of death from your third house. So let me show you. And this is why the time of birth is very important, because when you know the time of birth, not just the date. If you know the date of birth, you will see the circle, all right? You'll see the chart, but it won't be divided into the houses. You see these little slices? Those are the houses. It separates the chart into 12 houses for the 12 zodiac energies, all right? And then each house, each 30 degree, because it's a 360 degree circle, divided into 12. So each house, like this is one house right here, this 30 degree portion. And that is ruled by one zodiac energy. And whatever planets are sitting there will add more details or nuance or whatever to the energies that are at work in that area of your life, because each house rules areas of life, not just one area, because we are multifaceted beings. We have, like, for example, the first house is your ascendant. When you know your time of birth, you put it in there, you calculate. Your first house is your ascendant. That was the zodiac energy that was on the eastern horizon, because they rise. The zodiac, the constellations, they take turns on the eastern horizon. Okay, and I think they spend about 2.5 hours on the eastern horizon. So everybody born within those 2.5 hours, like for example, when I was born, at the time, it was early in the morning. At the time that I was born, at the specific hour that I was born or whatever, time that's written on my on my birth certificate, all right, it was Taurus. Even though I was born on July 5th, which is my sun sign, which the correct placement is Cancer, Gemini. The sun was in Gemini according to Vedic astrology, and that's what I am. I'm a total Gemini. I'm not a Cancer sun. All right, I have nothing against Cancer. In fact, I have 3 planets in Cancer. So I have strong Cancerian energy, but I'm not a Cancer sun. The sun represents your soul. That's a different thing from Mercury or Mars or whatever. The sun is the sun. The sun is the king, the soul of your life, okay, of who you are. All right. So my soul came as a Gemini. All right. And that's July 5th, 1972. Dang, I don't eat bakures. I've eaten a lot of rice. Yum, yum. Anyways, so for 53 years. Anyways, so, but at the time when I came out of the womb, the zodiac energy that was on the eastern horizon was Taurus. And so I came out of the womb as a Taurus rising. All right? A Taurus rising or Taurus ascendant. And so that's the energy that I navigate. In astrology, so in Western astrology, some people refer to it as what? Your mask or whatever. I don't refer to it as a mask because it is part and parcel of me. All right? Your rising sign is the identity you carry yourself around in the world. That's how you navigate this world. I navigate this world as a Taurian. Okay. All right. So, and then wherever the moon was when you were born, that's your moon sign. All right. And the moon rules your emotions and your mind, like your thoughts, because your feelings, your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, that's the moon. So wherever the moon was sitting, I came on July 5th. I was born on July 5th. My soul, my sun is Gemini. But the moon was in Aries. So my emotional makeup, the way I feel, the way I react and respond to people and this world and things and everything is Arian. Okay? Passionate, fiery, in your face, bold, I don't give a fuck. All right? I love you, but I'm truthful. Okay? And I don't give a fuck. All right? How you feel or what you think. As long as I go with my conscience. All right? If you care too much about how people feel, you won't be yourself. Okay? So I'm Aries when it comes to my moon, my emotions, my emotional makeup, my mindset. All right? Okay. And so my 3 big zodiac energies are Gemini for my sun. That's my soul. That's my core being. All right? Gemini is passionate about knowledge, passionate about information, passionate about learning, curious about life, curious about learning, assimilating the information and sharing the information. Okay, that is me. That is what I've been doing my whole adult life. When I was a Christian, it was about preaching Jesus. Because I believed, anyway, I believed in that nonsense. But that was a karmic journey that I had to go through. And there were many good things about it. So, yeah. So now I'm learning Vedic astrology. I've always been curious about life, my purpose, and da-da-da-da-da. What the fuck is this world? Why is this world so messed up? Like, who am I? Why am I here? I don't want to be here. I don't like this fucking place. Like, all of this. So now, so I'm learning, and I'm excited about it, and I'm sharing it with you motherfuckers. Excuse my French, nah, with you guys. Okay? So, so that's Gemini. I mean, that's just a summary of Gemini. All right, but that's Gemini. That's my soul. That is what makes me tick. All right, knowledge and information and communication. Since I was a little girl, let me tell you, nobody taught me about communication. But since I was a little girl, I knew that communication was important. Let me tell you, me and my mom, we've always had a dysfunctional relationship. Like but when I was a little girl, I always knew, and nobody told me this. Again, my Gemini soul knew it. That's why I knew it. I don't remember any physical person telling me, my communication is very important. You have to communicate. No, but since I was a little girl, I always knew me and my mom, our number one problem was communication. We do not communicate, especially on her part. She does not communicate because I over communicate. I like to express myself. I like to talk. I like to share how I feel, what I think. I like to ask questions. My mom never liked it. When you have a child, that one child who's always like, why? That child who's not like, okay, yes, mommy. No, I was the why. Why should I do that? Why should I think that way? Why should I do that? Because I'm not just going to take what you tell me just because you said it. I want to know why. This is why even when I was a Christian, all those years, 31 years believing in that Bible, believing in Jesus, I always had questions for that Bible God. Well, God, Lord, why did you create Lucifer? If you're omniscient, meaning you know everything from the end to the beginning, from the beginning to the end, you know how everything's going to... Why did you create Lucifer again? Because if Lucifer is going to turn into a Satan and tempt your perfect humans in the Garden of Eden and cause them to sin against you, and then they die and go to a hell that you created, lake of fire, whatever. Why? Why do you want people to go to hell? Because if you knew that all that was going to happen, you should not have created Lucifer. I mean, it's common sense, right? So I used to ask this God of the Bible, all these questions all the time. Many, many questions, including questions about my life. Okay? So that's the Gemini curiosity about life. Questions. We desire answers. Okay. Anyways, so this Gemini is sitting here now. This Gemini sun is sitting here with her Aries moon, Taurus rising self. See, this Taurus rising, she's the one who loves the jewelry. Okay. She loves the jewelry. She loves the nice things. She loves the luxury. She loves the comforts. She loves the beauty. All right. The Taurus rising, she's the laid back homebody who loves the good food. All right. You cannot rush a Taurian. Okay. I take my time. I do what the fuck I want. You cannot tell me shit. I am stubborn as a motherfucker, but in a good way. All right. I'm not stubborn about bad things, but you cannot change the mind of a Taurian. Okay. You will only change the mind of a Taurian when the Taurian is already changing her mind. And then you come with points that are already at work in her mind. Then she will accept your conversation. Otherwise, a Taurian. Anywho, so, but there's a whole lot more to this stuff. This is just like surface stuff about Taurus and the sun and the moon. And Gemini and Aries. But, so I can't believe I'm sitting here talking about, but I guess that's where I was supposed to start. So this is the general gist of your 3 big zodiac energies: your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, and your birth chart. Okay. And you have to have your time of birth to know what the houses of your chart are. See these divisions that divide the chart into 30-degree portions, like here, and the other lines are very thin here and here. These are the 30-degree portions. These are the various houses. But anyways, let me get to the main meat of the topic. Okay. All right. So I heard this Vedic astrologer say, you can tell how you're going to die, your cause of death, through your third house. Now, like I said earlier, every house is ruled, every sign and house, because each house is located in a zodiac constellation. And that zodiac constellation has a ruler, all right? And that ruler is one of the planets, okay? And so whatever zodiac sign is sitting in your third house, and whatever planets are sitting in your third house when you were born, that picture of the cosmos when you were born, wherever the constellations, the planets were sitting in the constellations, that has everything to do with how you're going to die, or where the ruler of that third house is sitting. The ruler of the zodiac sign in the third house, wherever they're sitting, that has to do with how you're going to die. So I looked up 5 celebrities. Michael Jackson was the first one. Okay, 5 celebrities who've died. And it all came out 100%. All right, so let me just see if I can explain this quickly, because I've already spent a lot of time explaining the general chart. So this is MJ. MJ was born on August 29th, 1958. And you have to have the time of birth to know this shit, these details, okay? The time of birth was 1933. That's 7:33 p.m., all right? He was born in Gary, Indiana, okay? And you have to have the place of birth too, because it shows up, the way it should on your birth chart. The placements show up the way they should on your birth chart. Date of birth, place of birth. All right. Okay. So Michael Jackson, we know that he died through an overdose of propofol or whatever they call it. And propofol, there's another name attached to it. I don't remember it, and I'm not gonna, But propofol is something. It's a drug that is given intravenously. Okay, a needle has to poke you, and then they pump it into your veins. All right, through a needle. All right. So now, okay. So these planets and these zodiac signs, they rule in the houses, everything in the cosmos. They rule not only things, areas of life, but they also rule parts of our bodies. There's such a thing as medical astrology. I love it. All right, parts of our bodies. Okay, so now Michael Jackson's third house is sitting in Aries, because Michael Jackson, when he came out of the womb, it was Aquarius on the eastern horizon. So he was an Aquarius rising. Now, Western astrology lies and says Michael Jackson was a Pisces rising. He was not. He was an Aquarius rising. Okay? And the moon was in Aquarius as well. So he had the moon on his ascendant. So he was double Aquarian. Aquarius rising and Aquarius moon. Okay? So now, no wonder he was so amazing, because Aquarius is not about the bullshit of society. Aquarius comes with their, consciousness and their oneness, love for all and collective stuff, love for the collective and all that. Michael Jackson, his emotions. No wonder he was such a man of the people. No wonder he was loved all over the world like he was, because he was an Aquarius moon. When you're an Aquarius moon, you love the people. And the people love you. Okay, he was an Aquarius ascendant, Aquarius moon. All right. Okay. But his third house was Aries. Who rules Aries? Mars. And Mars was in Aries when Michael Jackson was born. All right. So that's oh wow. So, okay, so that's MJ's third house, Aries, and Mars was in Aries when he was born. And let me tell you, I looked up, when I was doing this little investigation, I also looked up the date of his death. I think it was June 25th, 2009. Mars was also in Aries. You know, the planets, they transit all the time, the different zodiac energies. But Mars was in Aries again on June 25th, 2009. All right. So now, Michael Jackson died via intravenous overdose of propofol. Mars, Aries, Mars represents sharp objects. All right. Sharp objects. And they vary. It could be a bullet. It could be a needle. It could be a knife. It could be, it could be fire, because Aries is a fire sign. Yeah. But Mars is the needle that poked MJ and overdosed him with that propofol or whatever. And that's how he died. He died, I think it was a cardiac arrest, but the cardiac arrest was caused by the propofol. All right? Overdose. Okay? That's MJ. And that's his third house. And that is 100% accurate. All right. Again, like I said, these planets and houses and zodiac energies, they rule different, many things. So just because your planet is sitting over there, you can't just go read somebody's chart and say, okay, this is how they're going to die. No, it could be one of the various things, but at least you'll have a general idea. Like I'm looking at my third house. All right. And I'm like, oh, it could be one of these things that's going to expire me. No problem. When the time comes, let's do it, because I can't wait. But I don't want, there's no such thing as an untimely death. So I'm when my time comes, I embrace my death, because I cannot wait to eventually get out of this planet. Okay. And hopefully I don't come back here, because reincarnation is real. Hopefully I don't get to come back. All right. So let's see. Who's the next one? Man, this was crazy. This was crazy. Lucky Dube. Lucky Dube, the South African reggae god. All right. The South African reggae god, Lucky Dube. Michael Jackson he was the king of music, the king of pop, the king of music, period. World known, worldwide king of music, period. All right. Lucky Dube was the South African reggae king of god of reggae in South Africa. Let me put it that way. I love Lucky Dube. Okay, I love Lucky Dube. His sound is so soothing. He's one of my favorite reggae artists. His sound was so soothing. Oh my gosh. No, because his music is here with us. His music didn't go away. I listen to his music every day. Like, I listen to his songs every day. They just calm me. They just, like, I'm calm in general, but they just soothe me. They just soothe me. But anyway, so Lucky Dube, he died via a car jacking. All right, a bullet. He was shot and killed by a bullet. All right, by bullets. I don't know how many bullets got into him. Ugh. Anyways, apparently that day, he was dropping off his children somewhere, his oldest daughter and his son. I don't know where he was dropping it off, but this is like a daily routine. This is like something he does. This is not the first time he ever did it, okay? So he went to drop his children off, and these guys who were out to steal a specific kind of car, I think it was a Chrysler 300M, a blue one, and that's what he was driving, okay? And they saw it, and they're like, ooh, that's our car that we're going to jack today. Okay, and they did not recognize him. Apparently, if they had recognized him, they wouldn't have killed him. It was after they shot him dead. That's when they recognized him. So I don't even think they succeeded in taking the car. They just killed him for nothing. Because now they found out, oh my gosh, we just killed our superstar, Lucky Dube. All right. So, anyway. But that was meant to be. Okay. So when you look at Lucky Dube's birth chart, again, his time of birth, everything is online. So when you look at his birth chart, Lucky Dube was a Capricorn rising. So his third house was Pisces. All right. Pisces did not have any planet sitting in there when he was born. But the ruler of Pisces, which is Jupiter, Jupiter was sitting in his fourth house, like at the last degree and the last minute of his fourth house. His fourth house is Aries, was Aries, okay? So, and all these details are so important to his death, his cause of death. So Jupiter was sitting at the last degree and the last minute of Aries, about to enter his fifth house of Taurus. And all these details are very important because, and again, he died, he was shot. Like I said earlier, Aries is ruled by Mars, okay? And Mars represents sharp objects. It could be a bullet, it could be a knife, it could be a needle, it could be whatever. It could be even be fire, okay? And bullets, they produce fire too, right? I think. I don't know about guns. But, so, okay. In Vedic astrology, the fourth house, again, the ruler of his third house is Pisces. And the astrologer said, you can tell your cause of death in your third house, from the planets that are sitting there or wherever the ruler of the third house is sitting when you're born. All right? And his third house is Pisces. And Pisces' ruler is Jupiter. And Jupiter is sitting in Aries. So that brings Mars, the sharp objects, and the fire into the picture. Okay? But he was not only sitting in Aries, he was sitting at the last degree and the last minute, 29 degrees and 59 seconds. 29 degrees and 59 minutes of Aries, about to enter 0 degrees Taurus, his fifth house, when he was born. The reason why that is important is because two things. The fourth house represents, in Vedic astrology, the fourth house represents your luxury vehicles, your cars, your home, the luxury things that give you comfort in this life. All right, that's the fourth house, including your cars. Okay? And the fifth house represents not only your creativity and your talent, it represents your children. All right? And so that day, I'm having goosebumps. That day, Lucky Dube was shot and killed because of his car. Okay, he was carjacked. And his children were there. All right? Okay, but another final detail to this. Mars, the ruler of the fourth house, the ruler of his car and home and comforts that caused him to die, Mars was in his sixth house in Gemini. What is the sixth house? The sixth house is the house of your daily routines. Like I said earlier, that's not the first time he had dropped off his children at that place. This is something he does. He was a dad. He did that shit all the time. And the funny thing, when you look at this, Mars was not only in his sixth house, Mars was in his sixth house sitting next to Venus and Rahu. Rahu can represent the North Node. Rahu can represent thieves and crooks, violent people. Mars is already a violent planet, a malefic planet. They refer to Mars because it's the god of war. Mars is fight. Mars is, Mars draws blood. Mars is violent, can be violent, and Rahu can be violent. Okay, so Mars and Rahu together, they cause chaos. They cause violence. All right. Okay. On his daily routine. That's what happened. Okay. All right. So now, that's the second one. So the third one, this is Lucky Dube. So another one I looked up was, which one be this? Philadelphia. Oh my gosh, this is Bob Saget. Okay, so I saw a post about Bob Saget yesterday, talking about his death some years ago. And I looked up his birth chart. I'm like, let me see. Because apparently he died from a head injury. Oh, this shit is crazy. He died from a head injury from a fall in a hotel room. Okay, one of them luxury hotels. So we don't know if there was foul play. They said there was no foul play. There could have been foul play or not. I don't know. But according to his birth chart, I looked, I'm like, okay, let me see his third house. And unfortunately, his birth chart had the time of birth. So you can see the houses, you know? So I'm like, okay, let me see. So when Bob Saget was born, Scorpio was on the eastern horizon. So he came out the womb as a Scorpio rising, okay? And that makes Scorpio his first house. Second house is Sagittarius, and then the third house is Capricorn. All right. So when he was born, Capricorn was his third house. So I'm like, okay, who's sitting in Capricorn? There was a planet in his Capricorn. There was Mars in his third house. But not only that, the ruler of his third house, Saturn, who rules Capricorn, was sitting in his first house, next to his ascendant, next to the area of Scorpio where he entered the womb, the time of day where he entered, where he came out of the womb. Okay. Well, I'm like, oh my gosh, so accurate. Because your first house in astrology, your ascendant, your first house, number one, it represents your physical being. All right. That is you. Like I said, I'm a Taurus rising. So from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet, I'm a Taurian. All right. I'm a Taurus personality. I like Taurus things. I hate Taurus things that Taurus hates. I'm a Taurian. All right. But technically, your first house is not only your ascendant house. Your first house, when it comes to the parts of the body, like I said earlier, the various zodiac signs and the houses and the planets, they rule parts of our bodies. I mentioned medical astrology as well. Okay, when it comes to parts of the body, your first house represents your head. Okay? Your first house represents your head. All right? And the ruler of his third house was sitting in his first house. And he died via a head injury at a hotel. Astrology, Vedic astrology is crazy, man. Let me see. If you had pulled up, this is why you need the correct placements, because you'll see the truth, the correct placements, the correct energies that work in your life and what they say about your life. But when you go with Western astrology, tropical astrology, and their false 24 degrees ahead placements, everything is mixed up, boxed up. Now, the true energies will still work in your life because they don't need Western astrology to validate them. But it just won't make sense. Your life won't make sense according to the charts that you're looking at. Okay? All right. So Bob Saget died in a hotel via a head injury. He fell or something, whatever, and he hurt his head. He hurt himself via head injury, and he died from that. And his third house is Capricorn on his chart. And the ruler of Capricorn, Saturn, was sitting in his first house on his ascendant. And your first house in astrology literally represents your head when it comes to the parts of the body. It represents your face, your head. Okay? All right. So there's another one. There's more. I think there's two more. Okay, so who's this? This is Rob Reiner. Okay. Rob Reiner died recently, a few weeks ago. His son stabbed him, right? Along with his wife, but I'm only talking about Rob Reiner. So when I heard about that death, I had not heard about the third house being the significator of your cause of death. All right. So what I did was I pulled up the chart, the picture of the cosmos for that day that he died. And then I pulled up his birth chart. And then I compared the two to see what the planets were doing, where the planets were sitting when he was born, and where the planets were transiting on the day he died, to see the correlation. Because yes, that's another way to, there's not just one thing always in astrology. That's another way to look at it. And I saw the picture play out clearly, okay, from that way of looking at it. But now that I heard about the third house being your significator of your cause of death in the future, I looked him up, okay, and my gosh. So Rob Reiner was a Virgo rising. When he came out of the womb, Virgo was on the eastern horizon. His son was in Aquarius. Okay, he was born on March 6th, 1947. Now, March 6th, um, Western astrology falsely says it is Pisces. It is not Pisces. It is Aquarius. Okay, my younger brother who died years ago, he was born on March 8th. Western astrology said he was Pisces. He was not Pisces. He was Aquarius. All right. So, but so his sun was in Aquarius. His moon was in Leo. He was born on a full moon. The sun was opposite the moon. All right. But his rising sign, his ascendant was Virgo when he came out of the womb. That was on the eastern horizon. So now that makes his third house Scorpio, because you go from Virgo to Libra and then to Scorpio. All right. So his third house is Scorpio. Who rules Scorpio? Mars. Again, Mars. All right. The god of war. Mars, the sharp object. All right. The knife, the needle, the gun, the bullet, all these things. That's Mars. All right. Mars rules Scorpio. And where was Mars sitting when he was born? First of all, his south node K2 was sitting in his third house in Scorpio when he was born. And when I looked up his chart and I looked up his son's chart, I saw that they had a past life connection. Like I really feel like they must have been enemies in a past life. And that boy came to settle that matter. This is why, because there's a way of seeing your past life when it comes to your moon and your south node and north node, and how they relate to somebody else in your life, their south node and north node and moon. All right, stuff like that. You see the past life connection. His son's, I think his north node or his south node was exactly where his south node was. And a couple other things that I saw. And I'm like, that boy came to settle a matter. No wonder he lived a life of drug addiction and all that, causing pain for his father and mother. Oh, nothing is ordinary in this life. Nothing is just, oh, that boy is just so horrible. Look at his father doing everything for him, giving him all these opportunities. No, that boy came with karma. He came with karma. All right. And then he finished it off by stabbing them to death. All right. So now, Scorpio ruled his third house. And Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Where was Mars sitting? Okay. Mars was sitting in his sixth house of everyday activities. Daily routines, everyday activities, next to his sun and his Mercury. All right. And Mars represents, like I said, sharp objects, knives, needles, bullets, and all these things. And that's how he died, at the house. All right. Doing his everyday stuff. He was at home doing his everyday stuff, and he died. He was stabbed by his son. Okay. Let me see. Oh, not just south node. What you may call it? Jupiter was also in his third house. Let me see where Pisces. Oh my God! Yeah, this is the other key to it. Jupiter was also sitting in his third house when he was born, when Rob Reiner was born, and Jupiter rules his fourth house. The fourth house literally represents home, your house where you live, your house, your cars, the things that bring you comfort in this life. So Mars, the ruler of his third house, Scorpio, the sharp object that stabbed him while he was just being his daily self in his sixth house, stabbed him at home. And Jupiter, who's sitting in his third house next to his south node, rules the next house, Sagittarius, which is his fourth house, which represents the house, the home where he lived. All right? Yes. So, again, 100%. All right? Okay. So now let me do the fourth one, the fifth one, the last one. I think this is Robin Williams. Now, this one was not so easy to figure out, but I did. Because some are very straightforward, like Michael Jackson, like, Bob Saget, like Lucky Dube, even the one I just did, Rob Reiner. Robin Williams, he died via suicide, asphyxiation, right? Okay. he died by hanging. He hung himself. So I'm like, okay, let me see his third house and let me see how that went. So when he was born, it was Libra on the eastern horizon. So he came out as a Libra ascendant. All right. So that makes his third house Sagittarius, because you go from Libra to Scorpio to Sagittarius. Okay. So that makes his third house Sagittarius. So the ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter. I'm like, so where was Jupiter sitting when he was born? Because there was no planet sitting in the third house, sitting in Sagittarius when Robin Williams was born. So I'm like, where's Jupiter on the chart? So I saw Jupiter in the 6th house. Okay. The 6th house in Pisces. And Jupiter rules Pisces as well. So I saw Jupiter in the 6th house in Pisces. I'm like, okay, how does this relate to Robin Williams' death? How does this relate to suicide, to hanging yourself? Okay, so if you Google, in fact, let me do that right now. Let me read something for you. If you Google Robin Williams' death, you will see, first of all, they say he was depressed. He had mental health issues, mental health. Okay, all right. Pisces will do that to you. Okay, Pisces will definitely do that to you. If your Pisces is is afflicted, if your Pisces house, he had Pisces in the 6th house of his daily routines, his daily activities, his health, his sickness and disease. He had Pisces there, and Pisces causes escapism. All right, causes escapism. In fact, people who have malefic planets in their Pisces house, they usually get themselves into drug addiction and things because they don't want to. They want to escape reality, alcoholism, drug addiction and things like that. Pisces rules fantasy. Okay, all right. So his third house ruler of Sagittarius Jupiter was sitting in Pisces in his 6th house when he was born. So now if you Google Robin Williams, let me see. Robin Williams. Oops. He died by something they refer to as LBD. All right. He committed suicide. He hung himself. Yes, that's a physical act that he did. But what caused that physical act? What made his mind tell him that he needed to do that to himself? All right. LBD. What is LBD? The role of Lewy body dementia. Talk about Pisces and fantasy and mental health in the 6th house. Okay. And Jupiter is a planet of expansion. Wherever Jupiter sits, he will expand that energy. So if Robin Williams was dealing with mental health issues, Jupiter sitting in his Pisces, oh my gosh, Robin Williams, he had no chance to get out of it. I don't care who paid attention to him. I don't care who loved him in his life. That energy was expanded. And besides, the ruler of his 3rd house was sitting there. He was going to die through that. So, okay. And LBD, Lewy body dementia, affects your feet. It affects your whole body. It affects movement and stuff. They said before he died, before he killed himself, he suffered from, hold on. Well, let me pull it up. Robin Williams, cause of death. Okay, cause of death, suicide. All right. Just like Michael Jackson, he died via cardiac arrest. But that cardiac arrest was induced by the propofol that was given to him, that overdosed him. That was a needle intravenously. All right. That was the Mars part that did that. Okay. So Robin Williams, Lewy body dementia. Okay, let me click on this. But pretty much, tragically, Robin died by suicide in 2014 at age 63. The event shook the entertainment world. What many people do not know is that depression was not the underlying cause of Robin's suicide. Rather, it was a little known brain disease called Lewy body dementia. In the last year of his life, Robin experienced a startling pattern of behavior. His friends, family, and film colleagues could tell he was not himself. They said he acted out dreams. Like, you know how you lie down and sleep and you dream? Like when he wakes up, he'll act out those dreams or whatever. That is Pisces fantasy. That is Pisces. That is a Pisces disease, a Piscean disease, okay? Okay. And film colleagues could tell he was not himself as he began exhibiting symptoms like confusion, forgetfulness, paranoia, hallucinations, anxiety, personality changes, and difficulty with movement. Difficulty with movement. And Pisces literally rules the feet, your feet, because Pisces is the last sign, last energy of the zodiac. It's the 12th one. When it comes to body parts, Pisces rules the feet that you use to walk. And Lewy body dementia affects the feet too. All right. So it's a bunch of things. Like I said, his was not as easy to figure out as MJ's and the other three. But yeah, it was a Piscean thing. He was depressed. His mind was, fantasy, hallucinations, depression, and all this shit. And then he had to kill himself. All right. So, and I'm sure a professional astrologer who knows more information about this, about the zodiac energies and all these things, they would make even more sense out of this. But yeah, this was it. It was his mind. Pisces rules the imagination and all that stuff. So, and his third house ruler of Sagittarius, Jupiter, was sitting in Pisces in the sixth house when he was born. And the sixth house is also the house of diseases. All right. And so Jupiter expanded that. And his sixth house was in Pisces. So he literally had a Piscean disease. Like literally. And yeah, that affected him and he had to kill himself. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to share this because this is amazing. Now I'm looking at my third house and I see what's going on there. I see where my third house ruler is sitting. My third house ruler is not sitting in my third house. My third house ruler is sitting in my 12th house. All right. And there are 3 other planets sitting in my third house. So it could be one of a bunch of things. Okay. Because each of them rule different areas of my life, So I'm looking at it, but I know the desire I have. I've always had the desire to die in my sleep, to die peacefully in my sleep at home, in my bedroom. All right. And so I'm hoping, and that is one of the options I have based on where my third house ruler is sitting and based on, and all of that. So I'm like, okay, I hope that's the one I signed up for. I hope that's the one that happens to me. I hope when my time comes, I get to die peacefully in my sleep, in my bed, at home. All right. Yeah. But this stuff is so interesting, man. So I just wanted to share this. And I'll be doing more videos sharing astrological stuff because, well, this is the shit that that floats my boat. All right. Right now. Because who knows? No, but I love Vedic astrology, man. And I encourage everybody to check out their Vedic astrology birth chart. All right. I mean, if you're interested in understanding your life, if you've ever had questions about your life and your purpose and why your life experience has been however it has been, whatever, if you've ever been interested in, am I a Capricorn? Am I a Virgo? Am I a this? Am I a that? Well, guess what? Western astrology lied to you. You're probably the sign before that. All right. Because again, their placements are 24 degrees ahead. And that is not, you want the real time placement. The real time placement that NASA uses, and that's the same time placement that Vedic astrology uses. And that's why you get the correct energy. And once you see your correct chart and you understand what it means, you'll be like, oh my God, this is mind blowing. Okay. Alrighty. Well, take it easy. Have a good one. Have a beautiful weekend. Today is Saturn Day. It is Saturday. It is ruled by Saturn, the planet Saturn. And that's why I'm wearing black, because Saturn, the colors, let me tell you, these planets, they rule everything in our world. Okay, but we don't know it. I'm learning that now. The days of the week, all right, they're ruled by the planets. They're named after the planets. Saturn Day. It's Saturday. It is the day of Saturn. All right. Sunday is the day of the sun. Monday is Moon Day. Uh, Tuesday is the day of Mars. Actually, there's another, in another culture, in another language or whatever, there's another name for it. But in English, it's called Tuesday, but it is Mars Day. All right. Wednesday, Mercredi. Wednesday, it's Mercury. All right. Thursday, after Jupiter, Thor, or whatever, after Jupiter. Okay. Friday, it's the day Venus, the planet Venus rules Friday. All right. And Venus is the planet of luxury, the planet of pleasure, the planet of beauty, and all of this. And Friday, people love to, enjoy themselves and whatnot and look forward to the weekend. Okay. Friday is not a day to bust a butt working. All right. But anyways, it's beautiful. And they rule the colors too. The color black is associated with Saturn. And it's so funny because I love black. I wear a lot of black in my life. I did not even know this, but I bought this dress when I did not even know about Saturn. I did not know about astrology. I was a Christian when I bought this dress. As a Christian, I used to wear a lot of black. All the time. Black pants, black this, black that. I love black. Because, as they say, black hides a multitude of sins. So, yeah. So, I chose to wear black. And now I'm correlating my colors, for the days of the week. Yes, because it helps to energize, to boost the energies of those planets in your life. Like, I wear black every day because Saturn is my strong planet. And Saturn is a benefic planet to me. It's a good planet to me, based on my rising sign and where Saturn was sitting when I was born. I'm learning all these things through astrology. Okay, life is magic. So, I wear black all the time, and this is why my Saturnian energy is very strong. Even when I did not know about astrology, my Saturnian energy is very strong. Saturn has been teaching me discipline. Saturn has been teaching me hard work. Saturn has been teaching me, all those Saturnian things. And I am Saturn, because Saturn was sitting on my ascendant when I was born. Venus as well. Venus was sitting on my ascendant with Saturn when I was born. So I love to wear black every day, but today's Saturday, so I especially wore black dress. All right. My last video I did on Monday, I wore a white shirt. Well, it was like cream color, but it was white because it's Moon Day. The color for the moon is white or silver. All right. White and silver are the colors of the moon. All right. For the sun, it's gold, orange, like orangey, amber type, stuff. Mars, it's red. All right. The color red, any shade of red. Okay. Mercury, Wednesday, Mercury, green. I love green. Okay. Green, any shade of green is Mercury. All right. Jupiter, it's yellow for Thursday. It's yellow. Any shade of yellow represents Jupiter, the planet. Okay. Or you can even bother between yellow and gold. When it comes to Sunday and Thursday, I can interchange the colors because the sun, whatever. But Friday, it's pink for Mama Venus. It's pink. Okay. I can do white too, but it's pink. Any shade of pink. All right. And let me tell you, there's somebody. You know why? Donald Trump. I believe that Donald Trump has a very good astrologer. And even if he does not, okay, he's very much aligned to his cosmic energies. Now, he doesn't do things that I like, okay? So I don't care for all that. But I recognize his cosmic energies. And he's very much aligned to his cosmic energies. Like I said, I was a Christian, but I wore a lot of black. And I did not even know Saturn was the strong planet of my life. And Saturn rules the color black. And navy blue, like dark colors like navy blue and black. Yeah, Saturn. I did not know, but I've always been very aligned with my energies. Now I know. Now studying my chart and looking back at my life, I know that, oh my gosh, I was always aligned to my cosmic energies. This is why I've always lived the way I lived, because of my cosmic energies. So Trump, whether he actually has a good astrologer or not, he's very aligned to his cosmic energies. Trump is a Leo rising. Leo is ruled by the sun. You see how Trump loves gold? You see all that gold he surrounds himself with? His decor and everything gold. That's because of the sun. That's energy. And that gives him more power. Okay? And apart from being a Leo rising, he has Mars, the planet Mars, sitting on his ascendant. Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. The color for Mars is red. Do you notice that Trump wears a lot of red? A red necktie. Red necktie. MAGA hats are red. The red. The color red. Okay? And what other color? He does yellow too. And yellow, well, he wears yellow ties. Okay? Gold, red, yellow, orange, his hair, his makeup. You know, let me tell you, Trump is very aligned with his cosmic energies. You don't have to like what he does. I don't like what he does, period, point blank. But I recognize that he's very aligned with his energies. And when you're aligned with the energies of the cosmos, and when you strengthen your energies by wearing the colors of your powerful planets that rule your life, you gain more strength, more power. Your aura becomes stronger and all of that. Okay? Life is magic, like I said. I love it. All right. So, wow, I sat here talking for over an hour. My goodness, 111. Thank you, synchronicity. Okay. Thank you, universe. All right. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you another time. All right. Bye.